First killer we got is Hurricane. So this killer is a ability based killer. For example, let's go over her stats and passive. Pause to read. So anyways, since we got over her stats and passive, let's move on to her first ability, which is her M1, aka punch ability. Where Hurricane swings her arms to a survivor, doing 20 damage. And also, if you land one of the abilities called Tangle, it'll deal 25. And also, when you're enraged, you will deal 25 damage. And when you're enraged and you tangle someone, you'll deal 31 damage. Her next ability is called Agitation, where she stands still a second, then summons a beam of light toward the survivor, and then if it hits a survivor, it deals 15 damage to them. Her next ability is called Tangle, where she summons a sword made out of light, then throws it at the survivor. And if it lands, she will be tingled to the survivor and pull them in once she lands it. Then also, when she lands it, she deals 25 damage with her M1s, and the only way the chain can be broken is either if Hurricane gets stunned or the survivor goes really far away. I forgot to also mention something. The Tingle heals the survivor and heals Hurricane. So use it when it's required. Still, use it often so you can deal extra damage, boy. Hurricane's next ability is called Immori. Hurricane's next ability is called Immorally Suicide, where she stabs her with wrong script. Okay, so anyways, where were we? Alright, Hurricane's last and final ability called Immoralate, where she takes out a beam of light and stabs herself. And when she stabs herself, she deals 80 damage instantly and 20 damage over time, which means in total it deals 100 damage. But here's the thing, what's so special about it then? It will fill up your sound meter bar to go in range quicker. Like it should fill up a massive chunk, and it'll give you a speed boost. But it does give you 20 damage bleeding after the 80 damage with the stab. Alright, anyways, I guess you could just... Okay. But wait, I do not recommend you use Immoralate when you're like kinda low and the team is good and they have like good stunts. Use like Immoralate when you like need a speed boost and stuff. But be careful. It can get you killed because you also stand still while doing the Immoralate, which means someone can get, once you stab yourself, you get bleeding like that. Then once you do that, for example, how I just got stunned right now while doing the Immoralate. I stab myself and plus I get bleeding damage. So yeah, be careful when using Immoralate. So I guess just enjoy the rest of the gameplay, which I know you might say, oh, why not skip? You know what? But I'll find some way. Since there are like 50 seconds left, let's just don't stop. Skip to 5 minutes and 12 minutes if you do not want to see the gameplay in this, and we'll move on to the next killer abilities. Time will be on the screen too if you didn't understand what I'm saying. Next up we got Pursuer. Yes, the fresh meat guy. So anyways, Let's look at his stats in passive. Okay, his first ability is his M1, of course, called Swing, and it's where he swings his arm, dealing 20 damage. Then his next ability is called Cleave, where he dashes as a survivor and then stabs his sword up there. Okay, so anyways, after he stabs them with his sword, like how okay, I missed my cleave in this scene, but I got stunned because I got stunned. But after that, if you hit the cleave, you stab at the survivor, dealing 20 damage plus 10 bleeding damage over time. But if you even when you land it, you'll still be stuck in place. You can't move, but you'll be putting your sword back on your back and have some end lag. And if you miss it, you still have that end lag. So either way, if you miss it, it's punishing. But even if you land it, it's a kind of punishing, but you still deal 30 damage. So it's a pretty good ability to catch up to those survivors. Now let's go over his next ability called Howl, where Pursuer becomes a alpha wolf and howls, and anyone within a 100 stud radius will be slowed down heavily for 6 seconds, and when the slowness is over, they will be flashed. And I'm pretty sure when Pursuer howls, the people who get slowed down by him because they're in the 100 stud radius get highlighted to the fresh meat guy, aka Pursuer. So yeah, you should use this ability when you're kind of in a chase and you would notice that the survivor are kind of at a looping spot. Then you can use Howl to slow them down for 6 seconds. And once you use Howl, you can actually want them and maybe cleave them too. This makes sure not to miss your cleave, or else you just punished yourself instantly. Now let's go on to the fresh meat guy next ability called Stalk, where he stands still for a second, then goes invisible. Then when he goes invisible, he cannot regain stamina, I think. Wait, can he? Wait, can he regain stamina? I think he can't regain stamina. He can or not regain stamina. Just read the thing on the screen. So then he goes invisible. Then and all of the survivors are highlighted to him. So then he can sneak up on the survivor, because this ability is used for finding out where they are and sneaking up on them, then beating them up with cleave, swing, howl, then this. Okay, never mind, let's not get that deep. But anyways, yeah, that's really all Pursuer's abilities. So I guess I'll just give you some tips for Pursuer. When in a chase, try not to use cleave try not to use cleave, try to end the chase with cleave, because you know what cleave, because if I know it deals 30 damage over time. I mean, it deals 20 damage, like how this cleave, this guy, he got 20 damage and 10 damage take over time. Still, it stops you in place for a bit, so that gives the survivor enough time to run away and get distance, which distance counters Pursuer kind of badly, like Slasher and Forsaken. But except Slasher gets more countered because Pursuer is a close ranged ability, and he has no way to get to the survivor fast unless he stalks. But once he stalks and goes up in front of the survivor, he's still once he unresounds, he's still stuck in place for a bit, which the survivor can still have time to get some more distance. So, yeah, try to end the chase with cleave, and only when it's kind of necessary, cleave the survivor. Like when you're low on stamina, that's a good time to cleave, because then they cannot get far away. But beware, you can get countered by cleave. If you use cleave, then you get stunned before you can land the thing. So you should be careful of that. Alright, now let's move on to the next killer. Today we're getting French with Artful. So here's Artful's abilities and stuff. So let's look at his stats first. Since you had a moment to look at his stats, let's now go on to his abilities. His first ability is his M1, where he flicks his wand and then whacks the heck out of a survivor, dealing 20 damage. Just like how I'm whacking this dude. Come on, whack him. Man, my aura is so bad. What, this guy with my stick? Okay, anyways, as I was saying, his next ability is called Copyright. Like how I sure do hope this video does not get copyright strike. So, Copyright is basically where you take out the music box out of your pocket magically, then like that, except you can get stunned and get countered. And then after that, you place it down, and what the music box does is anyone within its radius will get slowed down, and the closest person to the music box within its radius will get it. So then, but you can also use it for his last ability, which I'll go on soon. His third ability is called Implement, where he will stand still for a moment for like a second or so, like how I did that. You can still move though, but then you'll build a wall that will not be able that no civilian can pass through, only you. But when you do go through the wall, it opens it for a second, like 5 seconds or something, so survivors can go through it once you go through it. Then after a few seconds, it closes back. So Artful is a trapper killer because his copyright slows them down and he can trap them. So now his last ability is called Repurpose. What Repurpose does is, let's see, you can repurpose a civilian, a wall, and copyright. So what repurpose does is, if you go in front of a wall and you click repurpose, you have it stored in it will be stored. For example, look at this. It will show a brick once you repurpose it. And then when you use repurpose again with that wall sign, you'll throw you'll throw it. Like, look at this. You throw it like that. And then you can also repurpose a copyright box, where how you can repurpose a copyright box. So you go in front of a copyright box, then you click repurpose. Then it will be in your inventory, and what happens when you repurpose the music box? Whenever you repurpose with that thing stored, you'll stand still for a bit, then you'll summon the music box in front of you, and then it'll shoot out a beam of light. Then it'll give you a speed boost for a short amount of time. So yeah. And you can also repurpose civilians. What do you mean by civilians? Well, first you go up to a civilian, and if they're standing still, you can repurpose them, where you just take their soul, but they don't die. Then, after one repurpose is off cooldown, you can summon a minion to go attack them. For example, I repurpose someone, Then after, when the cooldown is over, you stand still for a moment, summon them as a minion, then they can attack players. I think they only deal 15 damage though. But anyways. So yeah, that's all of Artful's abilities and stuff. I guess we move on to... Wait. Alright, so anyways, next up is Killjoy. Yes, the bot that looks like that he blew up in 10,000 science experiments. So let's go over his stats and passive. So here's his stats and passive. Alright, since you had a moment to look at his stats and passive, now let's go over his abilities. His first ability is called Eject, which is his M1, of course. Except his M1 is a bit different from every other killer from what I know. His M1 is a long range attack, and he has a wind up for a second, and he shoots out 2 missiles that has explosive radius. And then his second ability is okay, I don't actually know what his second ability is again. Know what, let's think. Okay, his second ability is called Flight, where he stands still for a second, then he flies. In this form where he flies and cannot be stunned, I'm pretty sure once he's in the air. And then when he flies, the nearest survivor will be located to him, and it'll show how much stunned you are away from it then. And you can shoot them from the air. So he's kind of like a helicopter with a bazooka shooting you from above. You can still dodge though. And then after a bit, but he will start going down after like a few seconds, like 10 seconds. Like after a bit, he'll start going down and down until he crashes and he's ragdolled for a second. So I think you know what happens. Come good, he's gonna get punched, shoot, taunted, then he will get banana peeled. Then lastly, Banana Man will appear like he was in Showtime LMS, except way worse, and come back with a... Okay, never mind, let's not get that deep. So yeah, his third ability is called Deploy, where he stands still for a second, calls someone else, calls like a semi-bot, like how I calls a kill bot, like how I did right there. Also, W killbot, the killbots are the main reason why I just killed that guy right now. So anyways, Deploy is like where you summon like a bot, and then after that the bot will blink 4 times. After the 4th blink, for example, if someone's in its radius, it will blink as many times that it will blink, and if the thing hits past 4, the thing will blow up, and anyone in its radius will deal 25 damage. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, Eject does 25 damage if I didn't say. Then lastly, his final ability is called Detonate, where he blows up. Okay, well, he stands still for a second. For example, I think I got it in this clip right now. Never mind that. So what he does in Detonate is he stands still for a second. Then after he stands still, a dawn buzzer starts. Then his insides start like becoming wires and stuff. Then there'll be cha, and he'll get 70 stamina that he cannot reach, and he'll be running very fast. Then after a few seconds, he'll blow up. When you see it, he'll blow up, and anyone within his radius will get 25 damage deal. And there was also a shockwave where survivors will be slowed down if they're in that shockwave. They don't even have to be in the hitbox, but they will be if they're in the thing that appears like the white stuff that goes out from there. They will be slowed down heavily for a bit. So yeah, that's all of Killjoy's abilities. Oh yeah, I guess I can tell you some tips for Killjoy real quick, since we don't got that time much left. Put down many deploys as you can. You never know, like how that part in the clip where I killed someone when I was stunned because the kill bots. We were both stunned, then the kill bot came in and saved the day and killed that dude. So yeah, and another tip as a survivor against Killjoy, do not go into the kill bot. Alright, that's all. Now let's move on to the last one. The next killer's battery up, the guy that be busting down your door like the FBI. Alright. Badware's, let's look at Badware's stats before we get on to his abilities. Since you had a moment to look at the stats, let's move on to his abilities. His first ability is called Swing. Of course, it's M1, where he swings his hand, and if it lands, he deals 21 damage. So then, his second ability is called Firewall Bypass, where he becomes artful, except a hacker, and summons a computer magically. Like, how the heck does it? How the heck does this dude summon a computer? Like, I understand that artful can summon a wall and copyright because he's literally a musician. But how the heck can a computer? Okay, but anyways, what this firewall bypass does is he can use it for his last ability, which we're gonna be called Rift, which we're gonna be talking about after the next ability. Okay, so firewall bypass is that firewall bypass makes one of his ability called Bolt deal 5 more damages. The maximum firewall bypass you can put down is 6, and with 6 firewall bypasses, Bolt would deal. I will talk about that in Bolt. So firewall, and also if he's in the radius of his firewall bypass, he'll get a speed boost, which means he can counter looping spots really well because he will get a speed boost if he puts down a firewall bypass. Then his next ability is called Bolt, which how I'm bolting right now, where it's kind of like Cool Kids Walk Speed Override, except you can control it, and if it lands, it will duel you and the player. But the player can get out of it first. So firewall bypass does 10 damage, and Bolt does 10 damage, but with each computer placed down, you deal 5 extra damage. So if you do 6 times 10, with the maximum amount of computers placed down, you can deal like 60 damage, which is really crazy. Like 60 damage is unbelievable. So yeah. And also Bolt is like a dash ability, and you also regain stamina while using Bolt. So Bolt is actually kind of good, to be honest though. Bolt is good. Wanna know why? Because if you're low on stamina and the person is starting to run, you can just use Bolt, and plus you can control it so you can catch up to them. Even if you don't land it, you still also regain stamina. So yeah. Then lastly, Badware's last ability is called Rift, where you need a computer placed down to do this though. So where Badware, if you click on ropes, you stand still, and then you have the option to teleport to any computer. So yeah, you can teleport to any computer placed down when you use Rift. And Badware will stand still while doing that, so he's viable to stun, to cancel. If you want to cancel it out, stun him while doing it if he takes too long. Where he teleports, and there will be a spawn symbol and a circle, and once he teleports, if anyone's in the spawn circle, it will give them bleeding. And after you give them bleeding, they will bleed. And you can also kind of punish them, because if they're trying to like break your computer, you can teleport to them. Then boom, they get bleeding. And also, whenever you teleport to a computer, if it has some progress and it has some progress, once you teleport to it, it will be restarted at 0%. So yeah, that's all. Bye. Hope you enjoyed this video.